Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Football Martin channel live this evening for this Championship Roundup show. We're going to take a look back at all the action in the Championship this weekend, and I may even get a friend drop by on the channel as well because a friend of mine, Jack from the Final Whistle, if he gets a chance, is going to jump on the show and have a chat about all things Leicester City. We're going to look at all the results from the weekend's games. And we're also going to look ahead to the midweek fixtures in the Championship as well. Obviously, we will talk Saints during the show, like we always do. So you can get involved in the conversation below and give me all your reaction as the show unravels. Right, let's get into the show. Right, Championship Roundup. It was a good win for Coventry City at the weekend. They beat Blackburn Rovers 2-0. 2 goals in the space of 2 second-half minutes helped Coventry City defeat Blackburn Rovers, who Saints play on Saturday. It moves them back to the top of the Sky Bet Championship table. The Sky Blues are the only side in England's top 4 divisions to yet taste defeat this season. Quite incredible. Unbelievable start. And they do have a very, very good goal difference as well. It is plus 22 after 10 games of a second tier season. It's the best tally since Fulham in 2000 and 2001. And they got 23 points in that 10 game period. So quite an incredible start to the season for Coventry City. And my guest is here. Jack is here to join me on the channel. Jack, my friend, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. You?
Yeah, it's good to have you here, mate. I want to touch upon all things Leicester City tonight as well. We're having a bit of a championship chat, a championship roundup. I spend all these shows talking about Southampton. I thought, you know what? Let's do something a bit different. A lot of people called for a bit more of a championship roundup. Just chatting about Coventry City, mate. Big win for them at the weekend, wasn't it? 2 goals in the space of 2 second-half minutes. It got them that 2-0 victory over Blackburn, mate. They're absolutely flying, and they have the best start to a second-tier season other than Fulham in 2000, 2001.
Yeah, they've had a fantastic start. That's coming from a rival fan of Coventry City. I mean, we don't really see eye to eye on each other in the M69 derby, but no, they're doing well. They rightfully deserve to be where they are. They're scoring goals for fun at the minute, and it just feels like there's no stopping them. Frank Lampard's got a real good formula, real good 11. Haji Wright's banging in the goals. He's the Championship top scorer at the minute. Coventry's normally one of them sides who really come good in the second half of the season and don't really do well in the first. But this season, they seem to be doing well in the first. Could they maybe drop off in the second? Could it be a back to front tab season? We'll find out. But yeah, I think they've had a very good start so far in plus 22 goal difference at this point of the season. I think it's just incredible for anything.
2 good goals the weekend as well, both volleys. Thomas Asante, I've got to say, I thought that was a really shrewd bit of business by Coventry City getting him in. He scores again the weekend.
Victor Torp's doing well as well. I like him. I think
he scores the weekend as well.
He's scoring quite a few goals for him. Thomas Asante, I don't think they're playing him more in his strongest position at the minute, but he is banging in the goals, and it just feels like all the team are scoring goals across the pitch at the minute, which that's what you always need, isn't it, Martin, in the chat with a team. You can't always rely on your number 9. You need to spread the goals amongst the squad.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Behind Coventry at this moment in time in the Championship table, I was going to say Ipswich, but it's not. Ipswich beaten at the weekend by Middlesbrough. Everybody expected Ipswich to be really good this season, Ipswich to be right in the mix. They've struggled. We'll talk about our 2 teams very, very shortly. But Boro, it was a good win for them, wasn't it, Friday night? 2-1 victory over favourites Ipswich Town at the Riverside. They're keeping up the pace at the top end of the Championship.
Yeah, it's a surprise, isn't it, so far?
Really surprising.
really, really tight, and anyone's beating anybody. Middlesbrough have started off fantastically well. We didn't really know how Rob Edwards would start as Middlesbrough boss, to be fair, but now they're scoring goals. Hayden Hackney's becoming a very good player who could have very much been with Ipswich in the summer if he'd signed there, but he opted to not go there. He looked more for a Premier League move. But yeah, really impressed with Middlesbrough so far. They're picking up the points, and again, they've had a strong start, and will they keep it up? And I think they'll have sort of a say of maybe a playoff spot at the end of the season.
They're just getting those points on the board. I kept saying about it. Once you get those points on the board, you just keep that momentum rolling. Just keep getting them, keep picking them up. And when you're winning games, and like when I watched that game on Friday night, I was like, I fancied Ipswich to win it. I thought Boro's bubble's going to burst. But to be fair to them, they deserve the win in the end. They dug in. Ipswich had their chances, but Boro, they dig in deep, don't they?
Yeah, they dug in deep. Ipswich's record, I was talking to Suffolk Crunch before that game, and we sort of discussed it. They haven't got a greatest record at the Riverside, and they could struggle, and they did. This is the thing with Middlesbrough. I think home's going to be a fortress for them this season, where they are going to pick up the majority of the points. But then you look at Mr. Bread and Butter, George Hurst is what they like to call him in front of goal. He's not exactly doing it, is he? You know, he's become proper soft since he said it against Birmingham. You know, apparently it's what he gets paid to do, score goals. Well, we're not exactly seeing it, to be fair, mate. So you're clearly not living up to what you believe in what you're saying. So, I think Boro fully deserved it. Bit of a dubious bloody own goal winning it by the Ipswich centre-back in the end. But now Morgan Whittaker's off on the run now, isn't he? With goals. His first goal. Yeah, Kipre.
Yeah, it was a big goal for Morgan Whittaker. I've got all the results from the weekend's championship games. Pop those on your screen. Big win for Oxford United, Jack, against Derby County. Derby, we struggled to beat them a couple of weeks ago, Southampton, but Oxford beat them at home. Good result, wasn't it? We've also got Queen's Park Rangers losing to Millwall. Saints 0, Swansea 0.
Yeah, fantastic result, Oxford. They're doing quite well.
Jack's internet connection went there. He's disappeared. He'll be back, no doubt, in a minute. Birmingham City 2, Hull City 3. Big win for Hull City at Birmingham City. There was a sending off. I will talk to Jack about that when he drops back in very, very shortly. But the manager was not happy at Birmingham City. Charlton Athletic, good start to the season for them. James Bree with another assist, a 2-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday. Coventry 2, Blackburn 0, as I spoke about at the top of the show. Norwich City, they find themselves in a bit of a predicament at this moment in time. They were defeated by Bristol City, and Liam Manning, their manager, is under a bit of pressure. Sheffield United, they're off the bottom of the Championship with a 1-0 victory over Watford. Stoke City 1, Wrexham 0. Another big win for Stoke City. Going to touch upon them very, very shortly because I was impressed when I watched them play a couple of weeks ago. West Bromwich Albion 2, Preston 1. Saints play Preston in a couple of weeks' time. And when Jack comes back in a minute, it was Leicester City 1, Portsmouth 1. So they dropped more points as well. That wraps up all the results from the weekend's game. But I did want to touch upon Stoke City. They've attained 18 points in their opening 10 championship games after that 1-0 win over Wrexham. It's only the second time they've had this many points at this stage of an EFL championship season in the last 20 campaigns. So they have had, Jack, an unbelievable start, Stoke City, haven't they? Have you been impressed by Stoke when you've seen them play?
Yeah, Solber Thomas.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
I think he's had a fantastic start. Mark Robbins, I think he's a very underrated championship manager. He did well at COV. To be fair, and it's took him time to get used to the Stoke side and get his the way he wants to play football across to them players. And Stoke's one of them you never really know how they're going to turn up in a season. I remember one year they spent all that money in the championship. I think it were under Alex Neil, I think it was. And
under Alex Neil, yeah.
Sort of started off well, but then they really fell off. But no, I think Mark Robbins has got a great bunch of players. Victor Johansson, I think, is an incredible goalkeeper, by the way. If I had
he's
my
brilliant.
way bringing him back to Leicester, I would.
Yeah, would you take him? We take him as well. To be fair, we'd have him tomorrow.
Mm.
Top player. Big sending off for Birmingham City at the weekend. It was a defeat at home for them, Jack, and it was the manager was not happy, was he?
No. Jack Robinson, you know, he got sent off against Coventry not long ago, and then to get sent off again, it's just ridiculous. I think his attitude stinks, to be honest. You know, he didn't really have a great own goal, and then got a yellow card, and then said something back to the referee again, and then got sent off, and then rightfully so Chris Davies should call him out, you know, because he's let the team down. He's let the fans down, you know. These things need to be criticised. If you're going to do things, Martin, expect the criticism to come with it. So, yeah, good on Chris Davies, to be fair, for voicing his opinion on it, because I'd do the same if he'd done the same for my team.
Yeah, no, it was, didn't go down well, not at all. Right, Jack, my big reason for getting you here this evening was to talk about the Foxes and a fellow relegated side, a parachute payment team in the Sky Bet Championship this season. You're obviously a massive Leicester City fan. Talk to me about Leicester so far, Jack. Give us a bit of an inside feeling of what it's been like this season. From the outside looking in, it kind of looks like it's been a better start than ourselves down here on the south coast.
Yeah, I think we take the start we've had so far. We sit fourth. 17 points, but I think we're just lacking in some games. You know, I think some of the teams that we have turned up against, Portsmouth, Wrexham, teams like that, I think we've just been arrogant in the way we've approached games, to be fair, Martin, that we think it's going to be a walk in the park. But that's the players' mentality's got to change. I think Marty Cifuentes has come in. I think he's done a fantastic job so far. It's hard as a manager to come in and change the mentality after last season's events under Ruud van Nistelrooy and that. And, you know, fourth in the table, I think we'd take it right now. We've had a better start than the three teams that have come down in Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton. We're picking up points, which is the main thing, but we need to turn these draws into wins, because if you want to get promoted this season, Portsmouth and Wrexham and the teams you need to be beating. So, yeah, we seem to be struggling to see games out. You look at our last 8 games, to be fair. Swansea were the most convincing one out of the lot that we did win, to be fair. But all the other games, it's like we go 1-0 up and we seem to struggle to see the game out. Birmingham, we did win 2-0. But we've had one defeat this season, which was Preston away. Fatawu was on fire, you know. His assists, his goals. He's a terrific championship player. I think it's too good for the championship, to be fair, in my opinion. I could see a top side snapping him up at the end of the season. But I think everything's just slowly coming together for Marty. It's taking its time, but I just think the fans have got to be patient with him, to be fair, not get on his back too much. Yes, managers.
Has he had a bit of stick? Has he had a bit, Jack? Were the fans on his back for a period of time there?
I think they've called him out for his sort of tactical, you know, some of his tactical decisions in substitutions against Pompey and against Wrexham at home in the last 2 home games. They've not been spot on. They've sort of not been great, which, you know, he says, you know, it's good to take criticism. You can understand the fans' frustration on things, because he always talks about he wants teams to dominate games. When we score 1, he wants his team to go and score 2, 3, maybe 4. He wants his teams to be dominant in games. And if they're not doing that, then he criticises them. It's arrogance, isn't it? You know, you've got to be able to see out games. And if you can't do that, it's a problem. But Wrexham and Portsmouth in the last 2 home games, they've been quite second half great against us, to be honest. They've changed the way.
What were Pompey like against you Saturday? You know, that obviously down here on the south coast. I mean, I'm intrigued at how they're doing, how they're playing. I saw them a couple of weeks ago. What were they like the weekend? How did they go about the game?
Well, first off, we dominated completely. They sat off us, let us have the ball. We scored with Aaron Ramsey, great acrobatic goal. We had a number of chances after that where we should probably have been 2, maybe 3 up in the first half, but when you don't put the games away, Martin, you get punished, and Leicester like to make their own mistakes, and John Swift scored. They counter-attacked us quite well. Young, I think it is for Pompey, number 40.
It's good, isn't
he? 47. Fantastic player. Yeah, great player. I don't think I'll keep hold of him for too long. So, yeah, Pompey switched it up second half. Massinio seen where they could really hit Leicester. And, yeah, I think all round, Pompey would have took the draw, to be honest. It's a big point for them. And more points dropped for Leicester.
I'll take a bit of stick for saying this, but I think Massinio is a good manager. I think he's a top manager, totally underrated. I think he will get snapped up by a bigger club at some stage. No disrespect to Pompey. I just see him progress into somebody that's maybe got a bit more money to spend, but he's a very, very good manager. Tactically, I thought when they come to St Mary's a few weeks ago, he nailed it. He got his spot on really and nearly nicked the game. They had a game plan, but they were well organised, hard to play through. And I thought they're quite a solid side, Jack.
Yeah, they did that second half against us. They made it hard to break through. But, when you sort of make the problems you do for yourselves, you make it even more difficult. If we turned up the way we did in the first half into the second half, I think we'd have won the game quite convincingly. But to go in, change the game and not come out the same team, it were a game of two halves. We had the first half, they had the second half. They could have even beat us in the second half, to be honest, how very poor we was on the ball and off the ball. John Swift, he was the conductor for Pompey. I think he had a very good game against us. And then players make the difference, the experienced players
who play
Championship. No, he's injured still, isn't he?
He's injured still. He's a good player.
I like him.
He's always impressed me. Yeah, he's always impressed. When I watched him, I think he's a real live wire. Real live wire. Jack, in terms of performances from players so far this season, who's been the standout shining stars of the Leicester City side? Are you feeling that for any have got a big hangover from last year as well?
I'll tell you what, if I had to talk about star players, we always talk about Abdul Fattah. We know how good he is, and he scores goals, creates for the team, does everything he needs to be fair. But if we look at other players across from the pitch, Jordan James, he's come in on loan from Rennes. Fantastic player, by the way. His work rate on and off the ball. He develops the game quite well as it goes on. He's much loved by the Leicester fans, but say never fall in love with a lone player. I think we already have. He's been a real threat. But I think the only critical thing I'd say, Martin, with Leicester is the defence at times can be very, very, very touchy. We're very easy to get something against. Defensively, we make too many mistakes. And I think this is, you trust in the same players who were the problem last season in defence. Your Fassis, your Vestergaard's got a mistake in him. He did that against Wrexham, but then made up for it against Swansea. Luke Thomas and Christensen, they're not good fullbacks. They're not. Thomas is, you'd probably choose him over Christensen, to be fair, because I don't really rate Christensen. But Harry Winks, fantastic player. Ricardo, fantastic again. But strikers, we haven't got a striker. Jordan Ayew's not a number 9. Patson Daka, he can't hit a barn door.
Sounds very familiar, this, Jack. It feels familiar to what we've got going on here. Very similar situation. You've got a few with a hangover from last year. We haven't got when you look at our squad, you think, oh yeah, they've got Archer, Stewart, Armstrong.
Yeah,
should be scoring a bucket load of goals, but
the champions,
just not working. It's just not happening. And then we're crying out for a striker. Like it sounds like you're crying out for a striker as well.
We haven't replaced Jamie Vardy, which was a massive blow for us when losing him last season. So. Yeah, we've had Carranza come in. Didn't really impress me against Portsmouth. He's just going to take time to get into the team. I think he needs a really consistent run of games. But then you got Jordan Ayew and Patson Daka, who's scored one goal between them. So Daka hasn't scored goals. I think the last goal was his goal against West Ham when Ruud van Nistelrooy took over last year. But Leicester haven't got a goal for it. They haven't. We really struggling in that number 9 position. And this is where you need goals. You need a striker who can bang them in and get 20 a season, and we haven't got that. Jeremy Monger, I think, is fantastic. Young 16-year-old. very highly rated, and he's going to develop quite well. I don't know if you've seen much of him, to be honest, but
No.
I think everything will just come together. I think in January we definitely need a striker, but people say about Patson Daki, yes, his work rate's been good. He's been chasing the ball down, but that's not his bread and butter. What he gets paid for is to score goals. He's not there to run all over the pitch. You're there to bang them in when needed, and if you're not doing that, we're playing with 10 men, basically.
Yeah, no, it's tough, isn't it? Relegation's tough. No, we're finding it tough. It's not an easy place to be. Like, we're 10 games in. We just haven't got any momentum going yet. Struggling. It feels to me that there's a hangover from last year. There is a hangover. There's still a lot of players from last year. They've spent a fair bit of money, and it doesn't matter how the players perform. It always ends up landing on the manager. So the players have been shit, and they've been rubbish. Excuse my language, but they've been rubbish, and a lot of our players have been rubbish. It all lands on the manager. Everyone blames the manager. It's the manager. It's the manager. He's young. He's the manager. But it can't all be the manager. Our team got booed off the weekend in a game that we totally dominated. We totally dominated the game. Far the better team. Just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, but they were booed off. And I get it, but how do you feel about booing your team off, Jack? Would you boo Leicester off?
Depends how bad the game is. The thing is, fans have the right to express their emotions towards the team. If they're not good enough and they've been absolutely shit, mind my language, then they have the right to boo. Of course they do. You pay good money to go and watch the team, innit? You want to be entertained. If you're not being entertained and you're getting absolutely torn apart and you've not done no effort whatsoever, like last season with both sides, and you're getting battered every week, how do you expect the fans to react? You're not going to cheer, are you? And think, bloody hell, we'll have some more of that. Of course you ain't.
Yeah.
You have the right to criticise, you know. The thing is with football these days, we're paying customers, aren't we? Football's a commercial, business side of aspect now. It's not what we once had. Saints will still. Oh, Martin, where do you start with him? He's just not good enough, is he? You know, yes, people say give him time, but the thing is, you've got certain players who have got bad attitude at Southampton. You've got Harwood Bellis, you've got a few of the older heads who think they're higher than the manager, and he's trying to stamp that out quite quickly, and they're not liking that, are they? But the thing is, when players badly perform, it always becomes on the manager, because the manager's the one who gets appointed to get the best out of the players. And if you're not getting the best out of your team, questions need to be asked of how good you are in leading this team. And we always find it with Leicester. Steve Cooper were poor. Ruud van Nistelrooy was absolutely honking. And, you know, the manager gets sacked, and this is it. You move on to the next man, and if the players can't play under the new managers, then you start questioning the players. You want to get rid of the players and not the managers, but you only have 2 times a year to get rid of them types.
You almost said these managers need like 2, 3, 4 transfer windows to get the squad that they want, but they don't end up in management for that long, which makes it really, really difficult. Looking at the Championship the weekend, Sheffield United, mate, surprised to see them where they are, by the way. A side that just missed out on promotion at the back end of last season, that playoff final to Sunderland. We should touch upon Sunderland shortly as well, but Sheffield United won't be in the bottom 3, Jack, will they, come the end of the season?
You're never too good to go down in any league, are you, to be fair? No. Sheffield United, they'll pick up at some point. The thing is with Sheffield United is Ruben Sellers, I think he's overrated, to be honest. Yes, he did well at Reading, but he's not exactly up at bloody Hull and Sheffield United, has he? He's not good enough to even compete to managing the Championship. Callum O'Hare and Harmer, the 2 best players at Sheffield United. Obviously, they've sold a lot of players and the like, Kiefer Moores and that. I dare mention Tom Cannon's name, to be honest, with Sheffield United, because they get very angry when I start mentioning that name. Tom Cannon. He's only scored once since he's been there, and they're not good enough. They simply have not been good enough. They've won 2 games in the first opening 10 games. It's just embarrassing. You keep bringing Chris Wilder back. Why? Why do you have to keep going for the same man? It's only so much that's going to work, because the thing is with Chris Wilder, yes, he's a Sheffield United fan. Yes, he loves the football club. But there's only so many times you can go back, Martin. You can't keep going to keep getting these teams out of trouble. As much as you love them, you've just got to let it go at some point. And Sheffield United made that mistake in sacking him after the playoffs, after getting 92 points.
Yeah. Let's go have a look at the championship table, Jack, because I've not had a proper look at it. I thought, well, I might as well put it up and have a look at it so that they're off the bottom, 6 points, same as Sheffield Wednesday. Any surprises for you, Jack, when you look at the championship table at this moment in time? Birmingham City, mid-table. I thought they'd be higher up the division, but what's your any standout shocks for you at this moment in time?
Yeah, it's probably Sheffield United, to be fair. From where I put them at the start of the season, I didn't expect them to be where they are, to be honest, but they deserve to be where they are because of how poor they have been. Sheffield Wednesday, I'm not surprised because everyone's expected Sheffield Wednesday to be down there with the current situation, which I think is disgusting, to be fair, with Chancery of how he's treating that club. Saints have not turned up. Norwich, they've really struggled under Liam Manning. They've not won a game at home. Portsmouth, I mean, they're going to be a team who's going to pick up a lot more points at home this season. Hull, I tell you who have been good for me, Charlton Athletic. I think they've been very good under Nathan Jones.
They're ninth, 15 points on the board already. They look solid, don't they?
It's going to be a real fortress, the Valley is this season. I think we're the first team to beat them since last December, I believe it is. I think they went 18 games unbeaten before they played Leicester at home. And we ended that, but they put in a good shift against us. They had many chances. But then, with the championship this year, Martin, I think it's really tight, mate. Normally when we were in it last time, Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, you could see who was going to go up, and we were far ahead this time. Can you call it? It's the most unpredictable and most unforgiving league in the business, and that's how I sum it up.
Yeah, and there's a massive fixture list over the next midweek. So Tuesday, Wednesday, these are the fixtures. It's a packed fixture list. Everybody plays. Blackburn, Sheffield United, Blackburn. We go there on Saturday, Jack. I'm not looking forward to that trip at all. You head to Hull City, Jack. You head into Hull tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'll be there. Another tough game. We don't have the greatest of records. Don't have the greatest of records at Hull. Ollie McBurney's scoring goals for Hull, isn't he? He's believed to be potentially unavailable for the game against Leicester to start anyway.
They like to hit it in the box. They like to get it in the box, Jack.
Yeah. And this is what Leicester don't deal with the best. When teams sort of keep lofting the bloody ball into the box, we have to keep getting rid of them. We haven't really conceded goals like that this season. It's just been from open play and counter-attacking. We've done that. So, you look at Derby and Norwich, both sides who haven't won a game in their last 5. Both desperate. I think both managers are under pressure. I think John Eustace is under pressure, Martin, to be fair. Blackburn's manager's under pressure. The question is, who's going to stay in a job? Because Watford have just hired Javier Gracia again, haven't they? But then you look at Coventry going to Portsmouth. They haven't got the greatest record there. Potentially that could be a draw. Oxford and Wrexham. You probably fancy Wrexham. Sheffield Wednesday, I think Middlesbrough win that, to be fair. Millwall, I think they've had a good start again. I think they could potentially finally make it to the playoffs this year if they keep
I do.
Preston, though, they've had a good start as well. I think Daniel Everson's cracking goalkeeper. But Birmingham, they've had that little taste of reality, haven't they, since they played Leicester. No way changing the manager, doesn't change the players. Back the manager and wait until the end of the season. I can see what Ian's saying there, Martin, about changing the manager, because the thing is with football these days, it's a points basis game, isn't it? If you're not getting the points and you're not doing the business, you lose your job, don't you? Yes, it's the players. A manager can only do so much in the dressing room and tactics and that, and it's down to the players to go and perform on the pitch, and that's down to the players if they don't perform. And I obviously respect what Ian's saying, but the thing is, with a manager, you can't back a manager if you're in a relegation zone and you get relegated and you're barely like 20 points adrift from safety. You've got to get rid of these players. So
you just need about 4 transfer windows to do it. That's the biggest issue, isn't it? It is the biggest issue. It's the hardest part out of all of it is getting your playing staff right, and whoever recruits at your club. Our sporting director is going to come under flack. There's no doubt because people question some of the recruitment. We bought Finn Azaz in, mate, and he can't even get in it. Can't even get in the team.
He's not good enough.
Can't get in the team. But
No.
what? But where did we decide that he was the man for us if he wasn't going to be better than what we've already got? Because if he's better than what you've already got, he's in the starting 11, and he's not in the starting 11. So he's obviously not good enough, Jack, for whatever reason.
It makes me laugh when we recruited Oliver Skip, £25 million from Tottenham last season, Martin. Who bloody thinks about offering 25 million for a crap player like that? I'm sorry.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
25 bloody pence in this daily transfer market, to be fair.
It's a lot of money.
You know what? Our director of football has made a lot of mistakes. He keeps making them. We don't learn our lesson, and we keep making the same problems in ourselves. Obviously, we've just lost the chief executive, Susan Whelan, a few weeks back. She left the club in the end, which obviously she'd apparently fell out with the director of football at Leicester, and they wasn't on talking terms for a good year or so. So things happen behind the scenes, Martin. We only look as fans what's happening on the pitch. We don't really hear much of it, and this is the way clubs are in Southampton. Fans are not happy with their owners at the minute. So the thing is, you can criticise, because if you're not getting things right, Martin, on and off the pitch, there's only people to blame, and they're the ones at the top. And they've got to take a good look at themselves to why they've not made the right choices and why you've made these mistakes. And if they're not willing to rectify them, then they're the reason the club's in the situation that it is. And this is what I say with Leicester. We're the problem, and the reason we are because we've made mistakes in high up, and we've not learnt from these. We just let things get bad and just keep sweeping things under the carpet all the time and don't think there's a problem.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Jack, when you look at the season, I know there's a long way to go. We only played 10 games, but from what you've seen of your side, do you feel you're going to be in the mix this season? Top end, you're there now. You're in the playoff. You're in contention. Playoffs. For you, what's your aspirations? Minimum playoffs. Top two.
I'd like to get promoted. I would. Some fans sit here and say that it'd be good to stay down a year in the Championship, because if we go up, we're just going to come back down again.
I think Jack's computer's maybe died. I reckon he's got a dodgy battery on his laptop, I think. But it's been great chatting to Jack. Absolutely. Chatting about the mistakes still being made by owners of football clubs. Yeah, I agree. A lot of them do, and you have to learn from your mistakes in life. You absolutely do. Interesting comment here as well. If Saints went up this year, will we get hammered every week and come straight back down? Use the time to build, manage, and go for next year. I think it's a really good point. I think financially, if we don't go up, it makes it really hard for the parachute payment teams, because the cutbacks in year two are so deep. But like you say, if we go back up, Southampton were to go back up, the turnover in the squad would have to be massive to try and go again. Like, I don't think the owner actually, Solak, I think he almost will want an investor to do it with him. I don't think he'd do it on his own, because I almost think if we were to go back up, which my gut feeling now is I think it's going to be harder. But if we were to, you probably need 200 million to turn the squad over and get what's required for the Premier League. It's, I'll ask Jack that question as well. Jack, if you felt that, say, Leicester were to go back up, how much money would be required to make you Premier League ready again, Jack?
£250 million or even more.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm with you on that.
My laptop switched off as soon as I mentioned John Rudkin in the board.
I love it. I thought it was your laptop. It just literally froze
it
up.
just kind of overheated and then just switched off. I was like, hold on a minute, what's going wrong? But no.
Yeah, I had a laptop that overheated.
It ain't about how much money you spend. It's the right recruitment you do. We obviously went for sort of experience over quality. Do you know what? And this is where you revert to Sunderland. They had a fantastic window. They brought in the right players. They looked at
They recruit well, didn't they?
Yeah, they recruited well because where they needed to recruit. They've got a good manager. I think this year will finally be the year where all three teams don't go down. I think Sunderland stay up there. Leeds, they've not been great. Burnley, they're going to do quite well, aren't they, defensively at home? And this is where you look at the form. But yeah, you've got to be smart in this day and age in football. Ipswich, I just felt they built a bloody multi-star bloody championship side when they were in the Premier League.
It's not working though, is it? It's not working though.
That's what I mean. You need to recruit well. I'm not saying Ipswich didn't, but they were more planning for the championship for the season after because they knew they wouldn't be sort of enough to stay in the Prem. And it's sort of shown that at the end of the season with all the teams that went up, they made an embarrassment of themselves when they did go up. The trouble with Leicester is, I think they command a big salary for a top player, Martin. Players just come to Leicester because we've been paying big wages, Champions League wages. You know, they look at the training ground and think, we'll go and put our feet up there on top of all this big wages we earn. And this is why Leicester's in the mess that they are, Martin, with PSR and that, because we've been handing out bloody Patson Daka 85 grand a week, Samari 80 grand a week, Oliver Skip's on a fair chunk, Harry Winks on 90 grand a week. So we're handing out these huge wages and we've not learnt our lesson. We've gone down to the championship and we're just presuming still handing out these wages. And if you're going to hand out all these wages and you're not bringing in more than what you're paying out, you're in.
It's going to end somewhere. It can't continue. You can't keep doing that. It's going to end somewhere, isn't it?
Well, this is it. This is the thing. You've got to end it. But if you keep letting it go on and on and on, you end up in the same problem as Leicester. You know, we was one of the best clubs to follow.
Yeah. Connor Cody as well. Connor Cody, another big one, wasn't he?
He's not even on a football pitch, is he? He's more time on bloody Radio 5 Live doing what me and you were doing, Martin, talking about football. And maybe he might take a job up with one of us if we offered him it and say, come on, Cody, come and give us 15 minutes, mate. We want to hear what you got to say. No, he's on too much money. We were getting him 100 grand a week at Leicester. He barely even played. I think he played 26 times for Leicester over 2 years. And the guy spent too much time on podcasts and all that. Wrexham fans told me, it's all right. We'll take Connor Cody. Very good defender, very good leader, mate. That guy couldn't lead himself into a bloody buffet at a party, you know. This is what I say with teams. Don't look at how they were before. You've got to look at where they are now in their careers. And Connor Cody said to Leicester, well, I want to leave on a free. And Leicester were like, well, we're not going to get rid of you, mate, until we've got a fee because we want a fee for you. We're not going to let you leave on a free, especially how much wages you've took from us and done nothing for us.
Recruit something somewhere.
Yeah, we got 2 million for him in the end. I said to Wrexham fans, you'll have the same problem. I think they're paying him about 45 grand a week. So all the best to him, innit? You know, he's off our books. Yeah. And with Cody now, he's not playing for Wrexham either, is he? Because they don't want him either. And I told Wrexham fans this, don't get your hopes up with him because you won't see him on a football pitch. He'll be more on Radio 5 Live and that, doing things over there than talking to you.
Yeah, he's
in Sky Sports now, isn't he? And on Sundays, doing the football with the analysis with Jamie Carragher. Fantastic.
Yeah, unbelievable. Chat, we should touch upon it actually before we wrap up today's show, is Danny Roll. He's back in management, but in Scotland. He's took the Rangers job. It was announced this afternoon. So won't be no return of Danny Rowell in the Championship. It's a bit of a poison chalice, that job. I think it's a mega tough job to take on, isn't it?
It is. Do you know what? Their fans are the most passionate fans you'll meet. I love Rangers. Yeah. I like them, you know. If I had to support a second team, I'd support Rangers because I like the atmosphere, the passion. They're a club you'd love to support. And people say to me, would you choose Celtic or Rangers? I'd say Rangers all day because I like Rangers. But Danny Rowe was one that was linked with Southampton, wasn't he, Martin, when Russell Martin was at your place? And you never ended up getting him because you didn't want to pay the money that Chanzeri wanted to have for him. And then Leicester... Leicester were after him as well, wasn't they? We was obviously speaking about it, wasn't we, in the summer about Danny Rowe. Will he end up at Leicester? Will he not? And Chanzeri ended up saying, well, we want £5 million for him, Leicester, if you want him. And Leicester thought, yeah, it's not really worth my time. We get Marty in. And Do you know what? I think we're very happy with Moyes if we Fuentes, to be fair. I think the guy speaks well and his philosophy
Good appointment, Jack.
Very good. Yeah. He might not be this top manager, what people expect, but the guy speaks well. I'll back him. Love him to bits already. And I've not even met the bloke yet, so I'll tell him that when I do meet him. And
you will do at some stage, no doubt about that.
Armchair was the one that said to me, Martin, that me and Danny Rowe were best friends in the summer, because I kept banging on about how I'd take Danny Rowe at Leicester. He said, "Oh, your best mate not coming now then, Jack." I said, "Well, we're never best mates anyway. I didn't really know him. Even if I met him in a pub, I still won't call him a friend." It is what it is. The cookie crumbles in football. The world keeps turning, and we still support our clubs, and we still go to games. How much stress it even adds the bloody years on our ages, mate. We go grey at some point.
Oh, mate, I'm going grey. I'm going grey already. It's already happening to me. Jack, your trip tomorrow, what time are you setting off? Hull City away?
I tell you what, I'm setting off about 20 to 3. I'm getting a train to Yorkshire tomorrow. So, yeah.
You're friendly with Kone as well, apparently.
All these players that I want, or managers, apparently we're best friends. Apparently I've got the numbers, WhatsApp and everything. Yeah, you go and look at my social media, mate. No one's even there. So I can't be friends with people I don't know. So they're just relatively distant friends, if you want to call them that. So now we're going to Hull tomorrow. I'll be having the match day vlog. We have got the preview for Hull.
Jack, what's happening at the final whistle? What's happening at the final whistle next couple of days? Let everybody know. Jack's at the final whistle. I'll leave all these details in the show notes below. But at the final whistle here on YouTube, what's happening, Jack? The next couple of days.
We had the predictions last night for week 10. Week 10, week 11. Sorry, week 11.
Yeah, week 11. Yeah, week 11.
Yeah. Go and check them out on the channel. They're live now. We've got the match preview tonight at 8:00 with Hollenbach podcast.
He's brilliant. And from Hollenbach, he's an absolute legend. Went down an absolute storm on the channel actually here. We did a pre-match show. I wanted to do a Bristol City pre-match show, and I did shoot something last night with a young Bristol City fan, but the audio quality is not good enough to put out, so I won't have a Bristol City preview show, unfortunately. But yeah, carry on, Jack. Sorry, mate.
But no, we've got the predictions for week 12 coming up Thursday. Preview for Millwall as we go to Millwall on Saturday. And then we've got the match day vlogs. We chat to fans before games and even after to get the post-match stuff and that, as Martin does as well. And
I enjoy it. I enjoy watching them, Jack.
It's good to see how passionate fans are. You never know how they feel towards a club or how they feel in games away from football. But when you talk to them at games, you get a real good feel of how they're feeling and how the club makes them feel and players and all that. And I love it. I love interacting with fans, and that's what we do, man. That's what we do, and I love it, mate. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I felt exhausted when I woke up this morning because you put so much into your weekend. Your weekend, I said to somebody today at work, almost like your weekend is almost harder work than your day job because you plow so much in to creating your content, don't you?
Yeah. This is what you do, and like you say, you appreciate everyone who watches, every view, every subscribe. And you sort of grow as you go on. And Martin, I remember when Martin first started, and he said to me, Jack, what sort of advice have you got for me to start up? I helped him, and here he is today, he's strong as ever, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of how far he's come, what he's putting into his channel.
It was actually your match day vlogs, watching your match day vlogs, that inspired me to create a match day vlog. Like I watched you, and then I come across Alex later on, but I was watching what you were doing, thinking, do I do this, Jack? Do I make this happen? He's like, yeah, just go and do it. And it was like,
Look, your pre-match thoughts with fans and your post-match ones, they're fantastic. These fan interviews and that, interacting with the fans and that. That's what we do. This is the love and the passion for your club and football as a whole. We bring the community together more than ever, and we give fans a chance to speak their mind, and give their views. It's good to debate with these type of things and hear both sides of the coin. because you like you say, you never know.
Nobody has. There's very few opinions that are the same, are they? You know, when you talk about football, opinions are pretty much they're so different, aren't they? From fan to fan, everyone's views are slightly different. It's good. It's good to get that vibe and that feeling, like, especially when it's really debatable. I enjoy it. Do you know what I enjoy more, actually? I love the games, but I love the build up and I love the post match. I love all the tactical chat. I love all the fan conversation. I love everything around it. The game and that's good, but I love either side of it just as much as the game. I may be really mental saying that, but that's how I feel.
Do you know what? You meet some great people along the way. I remember when I first met Martin, Southampton away 2 years ago.
I remember it well.
When we
Friday
first
night. Friday night.
Game, yeah. It rode for after 30 seconds when Martin when Vardy scored. You know, the final whistle welcomes anyone and like over. Exactly. Do you know what? That's what I like in it. I get every fan on. Every fan from every club, whether you're Leicester or Hull or whoever, match previews are good to get a real insight into the opposition. Because, you know, I think, do you know what, Martin? When you do these previews and that, and you get to know the league, you get to know the other club,
feel for it, the players and everything. Yeah,
a lot of players in that as well. People who you never thought you'd even think of in players. You think, bloody hell, but he's still going, or oh, he's fantastic, he is. And then you start looking at transfer window, if you can sign him in the summer or in January. But this way, how do you think January is going to go for you lot? Obviously, you're looking at your team now. If you had to sort of look at strengthening your squad, where do you think you really need to strengthen?
The out and out without question, what 100% has to happen. It can't not happen. Is a striker, a ready-made striker that's ready for the here and now. We spent £7 million on Damien Downs, 21 out of Bundesliga 2. He's raw, he's young, and he's not for the here and the now. And our owner backed our board to go out and spend money on a creative midfielder, which he did, and a striker. And we bought Damien Downs in, who just, unfortunately, I don't want to continue to go on about him, but everybody down here knows he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. So we have to get a striker if we're going to be a serious contender. Even for playoffs, I actually feel at this moment in time, without a goal scorer and somebody that's going to come in and score goals, we will continue. We'll win a game, and then we'll go and draw a couple of games. Then we'll lose a game. I just don't see us consistently getting on a run where it's bang, 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 because we don't have that real presence up top. Like Ross Stewart did it for a couple of games, got injured, no surprise. So and probably a goalkeeper, probably be looking, James Trafford's available potentially. Would he drop to the Championship again? I don't know. I'd be looking at both probably.
I'd have took him in the summer, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I would have done. Yeah, absolutely. What do you need at Leicester? You're saying what I'm saying. You probably need a striker as well.
We definitely need a striker to kick on this season. That's what the big hole is for Leicester. A striker. We haven't got a number 9 who can score goals. Jordan Ayew's never been a striker. He's a number 10 or a number whatever behind the striker. You get what I mean? He can play everywhere else apart from up front.
He's more of a free spirit, isn't he, as a player?
Yeah. And then you got Patson Daka. He scored 20 odd goals in 137 appearances. It's not good enough. Then you got Carranza, hasn't really played well here within a year, and it's like, the thing is, we're loans. You can just agree with them at the end of the season and say you wasn't good enough. We can send you back in it. Simple as that. It's when you sign them permanent, isn't it? And you're stuck with them for years, and you stick them on big contracts, and then you can't get rid of them because no one's going to pay the contract. I remember Daka in the summer. We wanted 10 million for him. I think Real Betis offered £8 million. And we rejected it. And it's like, well, why are you rejecting it? Because we was after Mihajlo Ivanovic from Millwall at the time. And I think he'd agreed to come. But the only way we could have got him is if Daka had gone the other way to Real Betis and moved him on. Because we rejected it, we couldn't afford to sign a striker. We had to end up going out on a loan. We didn't end up paying any money out in the summer. We ended up bringing 3 loan signings in. I think Aaron Ramsey's a fantastic midfielder, by the way. I think he had a great game against Portsmouth. I can really see a lot more about him. But yeah, Leicester need a striker. I think midfield we're quite packed. I think I'd love to get rid of Skip in January and Samare. If Fast wants to go, see you later. Yeah, recruit some money, because Samare and Fast and that, their contracts, they ain't got long left. So what you do with these players who are either out of contracts or have got about a year left on the contract, you get rid of these types of players. Jordan Ayew's out of contract at the end of the season. If people offer money, if you want to keep players, then I'd keep Ricardo in wings, but I'd get rid of the rest because they're not good enough. So we've got to, I wouldn't say spend big in January, but I think we definitely need to spend money on a number 9. Josh Sargent would be good from Norwich, well-proven champion.
He'd be a great sign of some. I called for him all summer.
Yeah.
I was like, if we want to be serious contender, like top end, go get Sargent because he scored 20 goals. And it's not just the goals he scores, the presence and his build-up play and his link. And he's a proper seasoned pro at that level. And a lot of Saints fans said, yeah, but he's not Premier League quality. We're not in the Prem. We're in the Champions.
That's it. You've got to look at where you are now.
Just get yourself back. If you want to get back, you've got to get the players to get you out first. You just got to get out. It's not a position that you're going to go and get someone that's almost on the verge of the Premier League come and play in the Championship. It just doesn't happen like that, does it?
No.
But it'd be interesting to see what his value is at the moment. Norwich struggling, Jack. Under their manager Liam Manning, he's a defeat tomorrow night, and he's in big trouble, isn't he? Big trouble.
Yeah, they haven't won at home in 6 games. 6 games down. Season. And I talked to my mate from Ipswich, and he said keep him in, and they failed. So no, he's got to go soon. You seen the player? Is it Nibs? The other day, the number 8 for Norwich went over and spoke to the fans about the situation, and this is what you want to see from players. Go to fans. Go and talk. I remember Abdul did it at Preston. He said Leicester fans were booing us and whatever, and we didn't like it. Well, not being funny, but at the end of the day, fans are not going to be happy if you're not scoring the goals and winning games, and you're just not going to play at all. So what do you expect fans to do? Just sit there on their hands and say nothing at all? That's not how football works. You've got to prove to yourself you want to play for this team and give 100% for the show. If you're not giving 100% and we're not accepting mediocrity, mate, I'm not being funny, mate. We're going to criticise. And when we do criticise, obviously some people can go over the top, but constructive criticism's good. I think all players look at social media to see how fans are feeling. Marty Cifuentes speaks to fans after every game on social media and tells them what he thinks and how. He's got social media.
Is he using? Which platform?
He's on Instagram and Twitter. He's got both.
Is he?
So he was quite after games. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, the Wolves manager, he goes down the pub, doesn't he? He gets it. It's probably a bit frosty going down the pub at the moment, but
they're shocking this season. I think they'll go down. To be fair.
Yeah, they're in a bit of trouble. Jack, it's been brilliant catching up with you, mate. I really appreciate your time. It's been a privilege as always. I wanted to touch base with you, chat Championship, chat Leicester, and we've got the last hour has been absolutely phenomenal, mate. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in this evening. And if you are ready for some more content and some more Championship action, I'm back tomorrow evening for a watch along live. It's Bristol City versus Southampton. It is live here on the channel in watch along format. You can watch it. I can be your second screen. We can debate it. We can talk about it. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow evening.